This video has 100 sample questions from Domain 3 of the CISSP that will help you grasp the security architecture and engineering module. In addition to preparing you for the CISSP exam, it will boost your self-confidence. After answering each question, pause the video to confirm your answer, then check to see whether you were correct. Let's begin. 1. A software development team is starting a new project. To ensure the final product is resilient against a range of attacks, the team decides to hold a structured session to identify potential threats, model the system, and determine countermeasures. What process is the team performing? A. Vulnerability scanning. B. Threat modeling. C. Fuzz testing. D. Static analysis. The correct answer is B. Threat modeling. Explanation. Threat modeling is a proactive engineering process used to identify, enumerate, and prioritize potential threats to a system. It is performed early in the design and development lifecycle to ensure security is baked in from the foundation instead of being bolted on as an afterthought. Vulnerability scanning and static analysis are reactive measures used after code has been written to find existing weaknesses, while fuzz testing involves inputting invalid data to identify application flaws. These are tactical testing methods, not a strategic design process. 2. An architect is designing a new cloud application and, to minimize the impact of a security compromise, decides to implement multiple layers of security controls, including a web application firewall, an intrusion detection system, and network microsegmentation. Which secure design principle is being applied? A. Fail securely. B. Least privilege. C. Defense in depth. D. Shared responsibility. The correct answer is C. Defense in depth. Explanation. Defense in depth, a core secure design principle, involves implementing a layered approach to security. The goal is to ensure that even if one control fails, another is in place to provide a continued level of protection. This strategy increases the difficulty for an attacker to reach their objective by requiring them to bypass multiple, independent security mechanisms. Least privilege is an access control principle, and fail securely and shared responsibility are also design principles, but they do not describe the use of multiple, layered controls. 3. A security professional is designing a new system that handles sensitive financial transactions. To prevent a single individual from fraudulently completing a transaction, the professional ensures that the system requires two different administrators to approve separate, critical steps of the process. Which secure design principle is being applied? A. Zero trust. B. Privacy by design. C. Least privilege. D. Segregation of duties. The correct answer is D. Segregation of duties. Explanation. Segregation of duties, SOD, is a security principle that divides a single task into multiple parts and requires different people to complete each part. This prevents one person from having complete control over a critical process, thereby reducing the risk of fraud or error. Zero trust and least privilege are access control principles, while privacy by design is concerned with embedding privacy protections into the design and operation of a system. 4. A software development team is tasked with creating a new application. The team decides that security features, such as threat modeling and secure defaults, should be part of the initial design phase rather than added later. Which secure engineering process is being applied? A. Secure by design. B. Fail securely. C. Least privilege. D. Shared responsibility. The correct answer is A. Secure by design. Explanation. Secure by design means that security is integrated into the system's foundation from the very beginning, rather than bolted on as an afterthought. The concept applies to the entire development lifecycle, from the architectural phase onward. Fail securely, least privilege, and shared responsibility are all secure design principles, but they do not encompass the entire approach of integrating security into the full design and development process. 5. An organization is implementing a new payroll system and is concerned about the risk of fraud. To mitigate this risk, the system is designed to require a different manager to initiate and approve all financial transactions. Which secure design principle is being applied? A. Least privilege. B. Zero trust. C. Segregation of duties. D. Privacy by design. The correct answer is C. Segregation of duties. Explanation. Segregation of duties, SOD, is a secure design principle that requires a single task to be broken down into multiple parts, with each part completed by a different individual. This is a critical control for preventing fraud and error. The other options are secure design principles, but they do not directly address the division of a single task among multiple individuals. 6. A network administrator is configuring a new web server. To reduce the attack surface, the administrator removes all unnecessary services and software components from the system. What secure design principle is being applied? A. Secure defaults. B. Least privilege. C. Keep it simple and small. D. Fail securely. The correct answer is C. Keep it simple and small. Explanation. The Keep It Simple and Small principle, also known as the CISSP principle, advocates for minimizing the complexity of a system to reduce the number of potential vulnerabilities. By removing unnecessary services, the administrator is reducing the system's attack surface, which directly aligns with this principle. Secure defaults, least privilege, and fail securely are other principles that apply to different aspects of system design. 7. A new software system is being developed. The design process calls for ensuring that security is a core component from the outset, rather than being added as a feature at the end. What is this approach called? A. Defense in depth. B. Secure defaults. C. Secure by design. D. Least privilege. The correct answer is C. Secure by design. Explanation. The secure by design principle, also known as security engineering, advocates for integrating security into the system's foundational architecture and design from the very beginning. This proactive approach contrasts with bolting on security as an afterthought. Defense in depth and least privilege are principles that fall under the umbrella of a secure design approach, but they do not describe the entire process itself. 8. A security professional is designing a new software system. To reduce the potential for vulnerabilities, the professional mandates that all unnecessary features and services be removed from the final product. What secure design principle is being applied? A. Secure defaults. B. Least privilege. C. Zero trust. D. Keep it simple and small. The correct answer is D. Keep it simple and small. Explanation. The principle of Keep It Simple and Small, KISS, advocates for minimizing the complexity of a system to reduce the number of potential vulnerabilities and the attack surface. By removing unnecessary features and services, the security professional is directly applying this principle. The other options are principles that address different aspects of system security. 9. An organization is implementing a new system and is concerned that a single administrator with full permissions could inadvertently or maliciously corrupt critical data. What principle should be applied to prevent this from happening? A. Zero trust. B. Keep it simple and small. C. Secure defaults. D. Segregation of duties. The correct answer is D. Segregation of duties. Explanation. Segregation of duties, SOD, is a secure design principle that requires a single task to be broken down into multiple parts, each completed by a different individual. The goal is to ensure that no single person has enough control to commit fraud or make a critical error. The other options are secure design principles, but they do not address the specific risk of a single administrator having too much control. 10. A security professional is designing a new financial application that will process sensitive transactions. The professional mandates that security features such as threat modeling and secure defaults be part of the initial design phase rather than added later. What secure engineering process is being applied? A. Defense in depth. B. Secure by design. C. Fail securely. D. Least privilege. The correct answer is B. Secure by design. Explanation. Secure by design means that security is integrated into the system's foundation from the very beginning, rather than being bolted on as an afterthought. This approach applies to the entire development lifecycle, from the architectural phase onward, and is considered the most effective way to build a resilient system. The other principles are specific controls that fall under the umbrella of secure design but do not describe the overall process. 11. A new corporate policy mandates that no employee with a lower security clearance can share information with an employee with a higher clearance level, to prevent the unauthorized transfer of sensitive data. Which security model is most suited to enforce which principle? A. Brewer and Nash model. B. Biba model. C. Bell-LaPadula model. D. Clark-Wilson model. The correct answer is B. Biba model. Explanation. The Biba model is an integrity-focused security model designed to prevent data corruption. It uses two main rules, the simple integrity axiom, no read down, and the asterisk integrity axiom, no write up. The scenario describes a no write up rule, where a subject with a lower integrity level, lower clearance, cannot write or share information to a higher integrity level, higher clearance. Bell-LaPadula is a confidentiality model. Brewer and Nash prevent conflicts of interest, and Clark-Wilson focuses on commercial integrity with formalized procedures. 12. A financial firm is implementing a system to prevent insider trading. The system will ensure that an analyst who has access to private company A's data cannot also access private company B's data, as both are competing clients. Which security model is most appropriate for this requirement? A. Graham-Denning model. B. Bell-LaPadula model. C. Clark-Wilson model. D. Brewer and Nash model. The correct answer is D. Brewer and Nash model. Explanation. The Brewer and Nash model, also known as the Chinese wall model, is designed to prevent conflicts of interest. It enforces access control rules based on a user's previous access history. An individual's access to one dataset, Company A, creates a wall that prohibits access to conflicting datasets, Company B. This is a perfect example of a system where a user's permissions change dynamically based on their actions, making it the most suitable choice for this specific business requirement. 13. A government agency is implementing a system that must prevent classified information from being written to a file with a lower classification level. For example, a top-secret subject cannot create or modify a file labeled secret. What is the security principle, and which model enforces it? A. No read down, Bell-LaPadula. B. No write down, Bell-LaPadula. C. No read up, Biba. D. No write up, Biba. The correct answer is B. No write down, Bell-LaPadula. Explanation. The Bell-LaPadula model is a confidentiality-focused security model designed to prevent unauthorized access to classified information. The property rule, star property rule, of this model, also known as the no write down rule, states that a subject at a given security level cannot write to an object at a lower security level. The Biba model, in contrast, focuses on data integrity. 14. A new system must be designed to maintain data integrity by ensuring that all changes to data are performed through a limited number of well-formed, predefined transactions. Which security model is best suited to enforce these requirements? A. Graham-Denning model. B. Clark-Wilson model. C. Bell-LaPadula model. D. Biba model. The correct answer is B. Clark-Wilson model. Explanation. The Clark-Wilson model is a security model that focuses on data integrity. It uses two main elements, constrained data items (CDIs) and unconstrained data items (UDIs), and enforces integrity through transformation procedures (TPs), which are well-formed transactions. Unlike the Biba model, which prevents data from flowing from a higher integrity level to a lower one, the Clark-Wilson model specifies the necessary procedures to ensure integrity. 15. A new security model is being developed that relies on a user's previous access history to dynamically restrict future access to certain datasets, specifically to prevent conflicts of interest. What is the name of this model? A. Biba model. B. Clark-Wilson model. C. Brewer and Nash model. D. Bell-LaPadula model. The correct answer is C. Brewer and Nash model. Explanation. The Brewer and Nash model, also known as the Chinese wall model, is an access control model designed to prevent conflicts of interest. It dynamically changes a subject's permissions based on their past actions, such as preventing an individual who has accessed one client's data from accessing a competing client's data. The Bell-LaPadula model is for confidentiality, the Biba model is for integrity, and the Clark-Wilson model is for commercial integrity through constrained data items. 16. A government agency requires a system to enforce strict confidentiality rules. A subject at a lower security level, such as secret, is prevented from reading an object at a higher security level, such as top secret. What is the name of this specific rule? A. Simple integrity axiom. B. Simple security rule. C. No write-down rule. D. No write-up rule. The correct answer is B. Simple security rule. Explanation. The simple security rule is a foundational rule of the Bell-LaPadula model, which is a confidentiality-focused model. This rule is also known as the no read-up rule and states that a subject cannot read data from an object at a higher security level. The simple integrity axiom is part of the Biba model, which focuses on data integrity. 17. A new organization is defining its security goals. To meet confidentiality requirements, the organization states that a user at a lower security clearance cannot read information at a higher security clearance. Which security model and rule best describe this? A. Bell-LaPadula, Simple Security Rule. B. Bell-LaPadula, Asterisk Property Rule. C. Biba, Simple Integrity Axiom. D. Clark-Wilson, Well-Formed Transactions. The correct answer is A. Bell-LaPadula, Simple Security Rule. Explanation. The Bell-LaPadula model is a confidentiality-focused security model designed to prevent unauthorized access to classified information. The simple security rule of this model, also known as the no read-up rule, states that a subject cannot read data from an object at a higher security level. The other options relate to different models or rules that do not directly address this specific confidentiality requirement. 18. A security professional is designing an application that will be used by multiple users with different levels of access. The goal is to ensure that a lower privileged user cannot read data that has been written by a higher privileged user. Which security model and rule best address this concern? A. Biba, Simple Integrity Axiom. B. Bell-LaPadula, Simple Security Rule. C. Clark-Wilson, Well-Formed Transactions. D. Brewer and Nash, Conflict of Interest. The correct answer is A. Biba, Simple Integrity Axiom. Explanation. The Biba model is an integrity-focused security model designed to prevent the corruption of data. The simple integrity axiom of this model, also known as the no read-down rule, states that a subject with a higher integrity level cannot read data from an object at a lower integrity level. The inverse of this rule, a no write-up, prevents a lower-level subject from writing to a higher level. This ensures data integrity by preventing less trusted subjects from reading data created by more trusted subjects. 19. A security team is tasked with designing a system that must prevent a user from reading an object with a security classification higher than their own clearance level. What is this principle and which security model enforces it? A. No write-down, Bell-LaPadula model. B. No read-up, Bell-LaPadula model. C. No read-down, Biba model. D. No write-up, Biba model. The correct answer is B. No read-up, Bell-LaPadula model. Explanation. The Bell-LaPadula model is a confidentiality-focused security model designed to prevent unauthorized disclosure of information. The simple security rule, also known as the no read-up rule, states that a subject at a certain security level cannot read data from an object at a higher security level. The Biba model, on the other hand, focuses on data integrity. 20. A security professional is designing an application that will be used by multiple users. The goal is to ensure that a lower privileged user cannot write data to a database that has a higher integrity level. Which security model and rule best address this concern? A. Biba, simple integrity axiom. B. Biba, integrity * property axiom. C. Bell-LaPadula, simple security rule. D. Brewer and Nash, conflict of interest. The correct answer is B. Biba, integrity * property axiom. Explanation. The Biba model is an integrity-focused security model designed to prevent data corruption. The integrity * property axiom, or no write-up rule, states that a subject with a lower integrity level cannot write to an object with a higher integrity level. This ensures that less trusted data cannot be introduced into a more trusted system. 21. A company is designing a system that must prevent a user from reading an object with a security classification higher than their own clearance level. What is this principle and which security model enforces it? A. No write down, Bell-LaPadula model. B. No read down, Biba model. C. No read up, Bell-LaPadula model. D. No write up, Biba model. The correct answer is C. No read up, Bell-LaPadula model. Explanation. The Bell-LaPadula model is a confidentiality-focused security model designed to prevent unauthorized disclosure of information. The simple security rule, also known as the no read up rule, states that a subject at a certain security level cannot read data from an object at a higher security level. The Biba model, on the other hand, focuses on data integrity. 22. A system architect needs to select security controls for a new application that will process sensitive customer data. The primary requirement is to ensure that a malicious actor cannot execute arbitrary code in a memory segment not allocated to the application itself. What type of control should be prioritized? A. Full disk encryption. B. Memory mapping and protection. C. Input validation. D. Encapsulation. The correct answer is B. Memory mapping and protection. Explanation. An operating system uses memory mapping and protection mechanisms to ensure that each application's processes are isolated within their own, specifically allocated memory segments. This prevents one process from corrupting or accessing the memory of another, or of the operating system's kernel. The use of base and limit registers is a hardware-enforced mechanism for this protection. Input validation is a software-level control to prevent buffer overflows, while encapsulation and full disk encryption serve different security purposes. 23. A vulnerability assessment identifies that the greatest threat to a company's intellectual property is the theft of a laptop containing unencrypted data. Which security control is most effective to mitigate this specific risk? A. Encrypted traffic over a VPN. B. Strong authentication for user logins. C. Full disk encryption. D. Encapsulated network traffic. The correct answer is C. Full disk encryption. Explanation. Full disk encryption, FDE, is a cryptographic solution that protects all data on a hard drive from unauthorized access if the device is lost or stolen. Since the primary threat is the physical theft of the laptop and the data it contains, FDE directly addresses the risk of data leakage. Encrypted traffic, network encapsulation, and strong authentication protect the data in transit or from unauthorized access when the device is in use, but they do not protect the data at rest on a stolen device. 24. A security team is designing a client-based system to prevent a malicious process from overwriting memory allocated to a different application. Which control is most effective? A. Full disk encryption. B. Memory mapping and protection. C. Network segmentation. D. Input validation. The correct answer is B. Memory mapping and protection. Explanation. Memory mapping and protection are mechanisms used by the operating system to ensure that a process cannot access memory that is not allocated to it. This prevents a malicious process from reading or overwriting data in another application's memory space. Full disk encryption protects data at rest, and network segmentation isolates networks. Input validation is a software-level control to prevent buffer overflows, but memory mapping is the core control for process-level memory isolation. 25. A software development team is tasked with building a new application that will accept user input. To prevent a buffer overflow, what is the most important security control they should implement at the code level? A. Encapsulation. B. Input validation. C. Hardware segmentation. D. Asymmetric encryption. The correct answer is B. Input validation. Explanation. Input validation is a critical security control at the application level that ensures all user input is sanitized before being processed. This prevents an attacker from providing an excessively long or malicious input string that could cause a buffer overflow, which is a common vulnerability. The other options are different types of security controls that do not address this specific risk. 26. A company is connecting its new high-performance computing system to the corporate network. To contain the risk of a security breach from spreading, the security architect decides to isolate the system's network segment from the rest of the corporate network. Which security control is being applied? A. Least privilege. B. Fail securely. C. Network segmentation. D. Secure defaults. The correct answer is C. Network segmentation. Explanation. Network segmentation is the practice of dividing a network into smaller, isolated segments. The primary purpose is to contain a potential breach and prevent it from spreading to other parts of the network, which is a critical control for systems that handle sensitive data or have unique security requirements. The other options are secure design principles that do not directly relate to isolating a network. 27. A security team is deploying a new database system that handles confidential information. To prevent a user from gaining unauthorized access to sensitive data by combining multiple non-sensitive records, what type of security control is most effective? A. Mandatory access control. B. Role-based access control. C. Context-dependent access control. D. Discretionary access control. The correct answer is C. Context-dependent access control. Explanation. Context-dependent access control is a security control that bases access decisions on the context of the request, such as a user's previous actions or the time of day. It is the most effective control for preventing aggregation attacks, where a user can deduce sensitive information by combining multiple non-sensitive pieces of data. 28. An organization is migrating its IT infrastructure to a modern framework where security controls are applied regardless of the user's location or the network they are on. This approach integrates network, security, and access control functions into a single cloud-based service. What security principle and control does this describe? A. Zero trust and CISSP. B. Least privilege and firewalls. C. Defense in depth and IDS. D. Segregation of duties and ACLs. The correct answer is A. Zero trust and CISSP. Explanation. The Secure Access Service Edge (SASE) model is a modern security architecture that integrates networking and security services into a single, cloud-based platform. It is a practical implementation of the Zero Trust principle, which assumes that no user or device should be trusted by default, regardless of whether they are inside or outside the network perimeter. 29. A new server is being provisioned that requires a hardware root of trust. The server must be able to verify its boot integrity and securely store cryptographic keys for a disk encryption solution. What is the most critical hardware component to satisfy these requirements? A. A hardware security module, HSM. B. A solid-state drive, SSD. C. A trusted platform module, TPM. D. A graphics processing unit, GPU. The correct answer is C. A trusted platform module, TPM. Explanation. The Trusted Platform Module, TPM, is a dedicated microchip on the motherboard specifically designed to carry out security functions. It provides a secure environment for storing cryptographic keys and is used to verify the integrity of the system's configuration during the boot process. This is the definition of a hardware root of trust. An HSM is an external device, and an SSD and GPU are general computing components that do not provide these dedicated security capabilities. 30. An operating system's kernel is executing a critical process in a highly privileged state, with full access to system resources. An application requests a service from this process. In which CPU mode will the application's request be handled, and why? A. User mode, because applications have lower privilege levels. B. Kernel mode, because the kernel is processing the request. C. Supervisor mode, because the application is making a system call. D. Privileged mode, because critical resources are being accessed. The correct answer is A. User mode, because applications have lower privilege levels. Explanation. The CPU operates in different execution modes to protect the operating system from untrusted processes. Applications and user activities are executed in a lower privilege user mode, also known as problem state. This mode has a limited instruction set and access to resources to prevent malicious or poorly written code from compromising the system. The kernel and its trusted processes operate in privileged or kernel mode. The request itself is handled in user mode before the control is passed to the kernel. 31. An organization's legacy system experiences sporadic performance degradation and eventual crashes. A system review reveals that an application, after completing its tasks, fails to release the memory it was allocated. Over time, the system is unable to allocate new memory for other processes. What is the security vulnerability called? A. Buffer overflow. B. Memory leak. C. System lock. D. Race condition. The correct answer is B. Memory leak. Explanation. A memory leak occurs when an application requests a segment of memory from the operating system but does not properly inform the system when it is finished using it. If this happens repeatedly, the system can become starved for memory, leading to performance issues or a system crash. A buffer overflow and race condition are different types of vulnerabilities. 32. A server is being provisioned to use a Trusted Platform Module, TPM, for secure boot and key storage. What unique hardware component, installed at the time of manufacture, provides a secure, unchangeable identity for the TPM itself? A. A versatile memory key. B. An endorsement key, EK. C. A storage root key, SRK. D. A graphics processing unit, GPU. The correct answer is B. An endorsement key, EK. Explanation. An endorsement key, EK, is a public/private key pair that is installed in the TPM at the time of manufacture and cannot be modified. It provides the chip's unique, unchangeable identity, which is then used to generate and secure other keys used by the system, such as the storage root key, SRK. A GPU is a general computing component, and versatile memory is a different part of the TPM storage. 33. An attacker discovers a vulnerability in a web application's input field. By entering a string of data longer than the field is designed to hold, the attacker overwrites a portion of the application's memory that contains the return pointer. The attacker then replaces it with a pointer to their own malicious code. What type of attack has taken place? A. Memory leak. B. Buffer overflow. C. Race condition. D. Side-channel attack. The correct answer is B. Buffer overflow. Explanation. A buffer overflow attack takes place when too much data is provided as input to a process, causing it to spill over into adjacent memory segments. A common goal of such an attack is to overwrite the return pointer on the memory stack and redirect program execution to an attacker's malicious code. 34. The operating system of a highly secure system must be able to protect its most critical processes from untrusted applications. Which core component is responsible for enforcing this isolation and mediating all access to system resources? A. The security kernel. B. The Trusted Platform Module, TPM. C. The Hardware Security Module, HSM. D. The microkernel. The correct answer is A. The security kernel. Explanation. The security kernel is the mechanism within a trusted computing base, TCB, that enforces the rules of the reference monitor concept. It is responsible for isolating trusted processes from untrusted ones and mediating all access attempts by subjects to objects to ensure they have the necessary access rights. A TPM is a hardware chip for cryptographic functions, and an HSM is a device for securely managing cryptographic keys. A microkernel is a type of operating system architecture, but the security kernel is the component that performs the enforcement. 35. A system is being designed with the goal of preventing unauthorized processes from accessing memory segments that are not explicitly allocated to them. Which of the following hardware and software mechanisms work together to enforce this? A. Data bus and control bus. B. Virtual memory and swap space. C. Base and limit registers. D. Trusted Platform Module, TPM, and Hardware Security Module, HSM. The correct answer is C. Base and limit registers. Explanation. The operating system uses hardware-based base and limit registers to enforce memory segmentation. The base register contains the beginning memory address allocated to a process, while the limit register contains the ending address. The CPU checks these registers to ensure a process is only accessing its assigned memory segment. 36. A new server is being provisioned that must provide a secure, unchangeable identity for its cryptographic keys and secure boot process. Which hardware component is specifically designed to provide this? A. A solid-state drive, SSD. B. A graphics processing unit, GPU. C. An uninterruptible power supply, UPS. D. A trusted platform module, TPM. The correct answer is D. A trusted platform module, TPM. Explanation. A trusted platform module, TPM, is a dedicated microchip on the motherboard specifically designed to carry out security functions. It provides a secure environment for storing cryptographic keys and is used to verify the integrity of the system's configuration during the boot process, establishing a hardware root of trust. 37. A project manager is concerned about a specific type of attack on a new web server. The attacker, by providing an excessively long string of input, could overwrite an application's memory and execute malicious code. What is this attack known as? A. Memory leak. B. Brute force. C. Buffer overflow. D. Side channel. The correct answer is C. Buffer overflow. Explanation. A buffer overflow attack takes place when too much data is provided as input to a process, causing it to spill over into an adjacent memory segment. A common goal of this type of attack is to overwrite the return pointer on the memory stack to redirect program execution to malicious code. 38. A systems reference monitor is being designed. The security team needs to ensure that this mechanism can mediate all access attempts by subjects to objects. Which of the following is an essential characteristic of a properly designed reference monitor? A. The ability to work without a trusted computing base, TCB. B. It must be implemented in software only. C. It must be invoked for every access attempt. D. It must be accessible to all processes in user mode. The correct answer is C. It must be invoked for every access attempt. Explanation. A reference monitor is an abstract machine that enforces the access control policy within a system. For it to be effective, it must be invoked for every access attempt by a subject to an object to ensure that the subject has the necessary rights. It is also designed to be tamper-proof, verifiable, and not bypassed. The security kernel is the mechanism that enforces the reference monitor concept. 39. A systems reference monitor is being designed. The security team needs to ensure that this mechanism can mediate all access attempts by subjects to objects. Which of the following is an essential characteristic of a properly designed reference monitor? A. It must be implemented in software only. B. It must be invoked for every access attempt. C. The ability to work without a trusted computing base, TCB. D. It must be accessible to all processes in user mode. The correct answer is B. It must be invoked for every access attempt. Explanation. A reference monitor is an abstract machine that enforces the access control policy within a system. For it to be effective, it must be invoked for every access attempt by a subject to an object to ensure that the subject has the necessary rights. It is also designed to be tamper-proof, verifiable, and not bypassed. The security kernel is the mechanism that enforces the reference monitor concept. 40. An organization is migrating its data center to an infrastructure as a service, IaaS, cloud model. A key security consideration is the division of responsibility for different layers of the technology stack. What is a critical security task that remains the customer's responsibility in this model? A. Patching the physical servers. B. Managing the physical networking. C. Managing and patching the guest operating system. D. Securing the cloud provider's facilities. The correct answer is C. Managing and patching the guest operating system. Explanation. In the IaaS cloud model, the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure, including physical hardware, networking, and virtualization. However, the customer retains control and responsibility for everything from the operating system up, including patching, configuration, and application security. The other options are responsibilities that are handled by the cloud provider under the shared responsibility model. 41. An operational technology, OT, network for a manufacturing plant is being connected to the corporate IT network to enable remote monitoring. The OT system uses legacy, proprietary protocols. What is the most significant new vulnerability introduced by this network convergence? A. The inability to use legacy hardware. B. Disruption from new IT equipment. C. Exposure of formerly isolated, obscure systems to common IP-based attacks. D. The lack of standardized OT network protocols. The correct answer is C. Exposure of formerly isolated, obscure systems to common IP-based attacks. Explanation. The convergence of IT and OT networks eliminates the security by obscurity that previously protected legacy systems. These proprietary systems, which were never designed to be connected to the public internet, are now exposed to a wide range of common IP-based attacks, such as brute force, malware, and denial of service, which they were never built to resist. The other options are either not vulnerabilities or are secondary to the primary risk of exposure to a new threat vector. 42. A development team is migrating a monolithic application to a microservices architecture. The new design consists of many small, independently deployable services communicating via APIs. What is the most significant new security challenge this architectural change introduces? A. Increased complexity of managing inter-service communication and security. B. Exposure of legacy proprietary protocols to new threats. C. Higher risk of memory leaks and buffer overflows in individual services. D. Inability to apply centralized security policies and controls. The correct answer is A. Increased complexity of managing inter-service communication and security. Explanation. Microservices architectures consist of many smaller, distributed services that communicate with each other, often via APIs. The primary security challenge is the increased complexity of securing the communication between all of these services and managing their individual access controls and vulnerabilities. This contrasts with a monolithic application, where all components are in a single, more easily protected container. 43. A system architect is designing an Internet of Things, IoT, network. The devices are small, low power, and have very limited processing and memory capabilities. Which of the following is the most significant security challenge introduced by these constraints? A. Difficulty in implementing strong cryptographic controls. B. The inability to connect to a central network. C. The need for a dedicated, high-speed power supply. D. Increased vulnerability to man-in-the-middle attacks. The correct answer is A. Difficulty in implementing strong cryptographic controls. Explanation. Internet of Things, IoT, devices have limited processing power and memory, which makes it challenging to implement strong cryptographic controls. Asymmetric algorithms, which are often used for key exchange and authentication, can be computationally expensive and difficult to run on these devices. This is a major security challenge that must be addressed when designing an IoT system. 44. An organization is migrating a legacy monolithic application to a cloud environment. The organization will be responsible for managing the application, data, and runtime environment, but not the operating system or underlying infrastructure. Which cloud service model is being used? A. Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. B. Software as a Service, SaaS. C. Platform as a Service, PaaS. D. Hybrid cloud. The correct answer is C. Platform as a Service, PaaS. Explanation. In the Platform as a Service, PaaS, model, the cloud provider manages the operating system, underlying hardware, and network infrastructure. The customer, however, retains responsibility for the application and data. This model provides a platform for developers to deploy and run applications without the burden of managing the underlying software and hardware. 45. A systems engineer is designing an industrial control system, ICS, for a water treatment plant. The engineer decides to isolate the ICS network from the corporate IT network. What is the primary security principle being applied? A. Defense in depth. B. Least privilege. C. Network segmentation. D. Zero trust. The correct answer is C. Network segmentation. Explanation. Network segmentation is a fundamental security practice that involves dividing a network into smaller, isolated segments. The primary purpose is to contain a potential breach and prevent it from spreading to other parts of the network. This is a critical control for ICS, which often use legacy, proprietary protocols that are not well suited to modern IT security threats. 46. A security architect is designing a new cloud-based application. To maintain control over the operating system and the software installed on it, the architect decides to use a virtual machine provided by the cloud vendor. Which cloud service model is being used? A. Software as a Service, SaaS. B. Platform as a Service, PaaS. C. Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. D. Public cloud. The correct answer is C. Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. Explanation. In the IaaS model, the cloud provider manages the underlying hardware, networking, and virtualization layer. The customer, however, retains full control and responsibility for the operating system and all software installed on the virtual machine. This is the key distinguishing factor from PaaS and SaaS, where the cloud provider assumes more responsibility. 47. A software architect is designing a new database system. She is concerned that a user with low-level permissions, by combining several pieces of non-sensitive data, could gain access to a piece of information for which they do not have clearance. What is this security risk called? A. Aggregation. B. Inference. C. Data remnants. D. Buffer overflow. The correct answer is A. Aggregation. Explanation. Aggregation is the act of combining seemingly non-sensitive pieces of information to gain access to a larger, more sensitive piece of information. The ability to deduce this information from the combined data is called inference. Aggregation is the process, and inference is the result. Data remnants and buffer overflow are different types of security vulnerabilities. 48. An organization is migrating a legacy application to a cloud environment. The organization will be responsible for managing the operating system, but not the underlying hardware or virtualization. Which cloud service model is being used? A. Software as a Service, SaaS. B. Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. C. Platform as a Service, PaaS. D. Hybrid cloud. The correct answer is B. Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. Explanation. In the IaaS model, the cloud provider manages the underlying hardware, networking, and virtualization layer, but the customer retains full control and responsibility for the operating system and all software installed on the virtual machine. In the PaaS and SaaS models, the cloud provider assumes more responsibility. 49. An organization requires a secure communication channel for the real-time transmission of streaming video data. The primary security service required is confidentiality, and low latency is critical. Which cryptographic algorithm type is best suited for this purpose? A. Asymmetric algorithms. B. Hash algorithms. C. Symmetric algorithms. D. Public key infrastructure. The correct answer is C. Symmetric algorithms. Explanation. Symmetric algorithms, such as AES or DES, use a single shared key for both encryption and decryption. They are significantly faster and more efficient than asymmetric algorithms because they rely on less complex mathematics, making them ideal for bulk data encryption where speed and low latency are critical. Asymmetric algorithms are slower but provide non-repudiation and authentication, while hash algorithms provide integrity. PKI is an entire framework, not an algorithm type. 50. A PKI is being implemented to provide secure email communication across an enterprise. The primary purpose of a digital certificate in this system is to provide what security service? A. Integrity and non-repudiation of the message content. B. Confidentiality of the communication channel. C. The secure association of a public key with an identity. D. The secure distribution of a shared secret key. The correct answer is C. The secure association of a public key with an identity. Explanation. A digital certificate is a mechanism used within a public key infrastructure, PKI, to securely associate a user's public key with their verified identity. This association provides a chain of trust that allows other users to verify that a public key belongs to the person it claims to belong to, thereby preventing man-in-the-middle attacks. While a PKI can provide confidentiality, integrity, and non-repudiation, the certificate itself primarily serves the function of securely binding a public key to a person. 51. An organization is choosing a cryptographic solution to protect its email communications. It requires a method that provides authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation, while also protecting the confidentiality of the message content itself. Which approach is the most comprehensive? A. Hashing the message and encrypting the result with a symmetric key. B. Encrypting the message with a symmetric key and sending it to the recipient. C. Encrypting the message with the recipient's public key. D. Encrypting the message with a symmetric key and digitally signing the message digest. The correct answer is D. Encrypting the message with a symmetric key and digitally signing the message digest. Explanation. To provide a full range of security services, a hybrid approach is required. Encrypting the message with a symmetric key provides confidentiality because symmetric algorithms are efficient for bulk data. Digitally signing the message digest, a hash of the message encrypted with the sender's private key, provides integrity, authenticity, and non-repudiation. This combination covers all required services. 52. A new employee requires a digital certificate to access the company's secure systems. Before the certificate authority, CA, can issue the certificate, a specific entity must first confirm the employee's identity and send the request. What is this entity called? A. A certificate authority, CA. B. A registration authority, RA. C. A certificate revocation list, CRL. D. An information owner, IO. The correct answer is B. A registration authority, RA. Explanation. The registration authority, RA, is the entity within a public key infrastructure, PKI, responsible for verifying the identity of the end user before a certificate is issued. The RA performs the initial registration, gathers the necessary identification information, and then submits the request to the CA. The CA is responsible for creating and signing the certificate, and the certificate revocation list, CRL, is a list of revoked certificates. 53. A sender encrypts a message digest with their private key and sends it to a recipient. The recipient uses the sender's public key to decrypt the message digest and compares it to a locally generated message digest. What security services does this process provide? A. Confidentiality and integrity. B. Confidentiality only. C. Authentication, integrity, and non-repudiation. D. Integrity only. The correct answer is C. Authentication, integrity, and non-repudiation. Explanation. When a sender encrypts a message digest with their private key, it is called a digital signature. This process provides authentication, proving the message came from the sender, integrity, verifying the message was not altered, and non-repudiation, preventing the sender from later denying they sent it. It does not provide confidentiality, as the original message is not encrypted. 54. A security team is implementing a symmetric block cipher to encrypt data. To prevent an attacker from identifying patterns in the ciphertext, they decide to use a random value that is combined with the key at the start of the encryption process. What is this random value called? A. A salt. B. A session key. C. An initialization vector. D. A key stream. The correct answer is C. An initialization vector. Explanation. An initialization vector is a random value used with cryptographic algorithms to ensure that two identical plaintext messages, when encrypted with the same key, produce different ciphertext. It helps prevent patterns from forming that could aid an attacker in cryptanalysis. A session key is a symmetric key used for a single session, while a key stream is a stream of bits used in stream ciphers. 55. A systems designer needs to select a cryptographic algorithm for a time-sensitive, high-volume data transfer application. The most important security goal is confidentiality. Which algorithm type is best suited to meet these requirements? A. Stream cipher. B. Asymmetric algorithm. C. One-way hash function. D. Digital signature algorithm. The correct answer is A. Stream cipher. Explanation. Stream ciphers are designed to encrypt data one bit at a time, making them faster and more suitable for high-speed, real-time data transmission. They are less complex mathematically than block ciphers and asymmetric algorithms, which makes them ideal for environments where speed is critical. While asymmetric algorithms provide confidentiality, they are significantly slower and are typically used for key exchange rather than bulk data encryption. 56. An organization has a complex network architecture that includes a mix of client-based and server-based systems. A security manager is concerned about the risk of sensitive data being transferred between these systems over an untrusted network. What is the most effective cryptographic solution to mitigate this risk? A. Using a one-way hash function. B. Employing a public key infrastructure, PKI. C. Implementing a data integrity check. D. Applying a digital signature to all data. The correct answer is B. Employing a public key infrastructure, PKI. Explanation. A public key infrastructure, PKI, provides a comprehensive framework for secure communication between systems. It uses digital certificates to securely associate public keys with identities, preventing man-in-the-middle attacks and enabling confidentiality, integrity, and authentication for data transferred over a network. While one-way hashes and digital signatures provide integrity and authentication, only a full PKI solution provides a scalable and secure way to manage key distribution and ensure all security services, including confidentiality. 57. A developer wants to create a digital signature for a message to provide authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation. Which of the following is the correct cryptographic process to achieve this? A. Encrypting the message with a symmetric key. B. Hashing the message and then encrypting the message digest with the sender's private key. C. Encrypting the message with the recipient's public key. D. Combining the message with the recipient's public key and then hashing the result. The correct answer is B. Hashing the message and then encrypting the message digest with the sender's private key. Explanation. A digital signature is a hash value that has been encrypted with the sender's private key. The hashing process provides integrity, ensuring the message was not altered. Encrypting the hash with the sender's private key provides authentication, proving the message came from the sender, and non-repudiation, preventing the sender from denying they sent it. 58. A team needs to select a cryptographic algorithm for a time-sensitive, high-volume data transmission. The primary security goal is confidentiality, and the solution must be as fast and efficient as possible. Which type of algorithm is best suited for this purpose? A. Asymmetric algorithm. B. Hash algorithm. C. Stream cipher. D. Block cipher. The correct answer is C. Stream cipher. Explanation. Stream ciphers are designed to encrypt data one bit at a time, making them faster and more suitable for high-speed, real-time data transmission than block ciphers. They are less complex mathematically than asymmetric algorithms and therefore more efficient for bulk data encryption where speed and low latency are critical. Hash algorithms do not provide confidentiality. 59. A project manager is evaluating the benefits of a public key infrastructure, PKI. A key benefit of a PKI is that it provides a scalable way to securely associate a user's public key with their verified identity. What is the name of the component that provides this core function? A. A certificate revocation list, CRL. B. A digital certificate. C. A registration authority, RA. D. A session key. The correct answer is B. A digital certificate. Explanation. A digital certificate is a key component of a PKI that securely binds a user's public key to their identity. It provides a chain of trust, which allows other users to verify that a public key belongs to the person it claims to belong to, thereby preventing man-in-the-middle attacks. The registration authority, RA, verifies the user's identity, but the certificate itself is what makes the association secure. 60. A system is designed to provide secure communication between a sender and a recipient. The sender encrypts a message digest with their private key and sends it along with the message. What security services does this process provide? A. Confidentiality and integrity. B. Confidentiality and non-repudiation. C. Integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. D. Confidentiality only. The correct answer is C. Integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. Explanation. The process described is a digital signature. The hashing of the message provides integrity, ensuring the message was not altered. Encrypting the hash with the sender's private key provides authentication, proving the message came from the sender, and non-repudiation, preventing the sender from denying they sent it. The message itself is not encrypted, so confidentiality is not provided. 61. A developer is designing a new cryptographic module for a real-time application. The application will be handling a continuous stream of data, and high throughput is a key requirement. Which type of symmetric cipher is best suited for this purpose? A. Block cipher. B. Stream cipher. C. Asymmetric cipher. D. Hash function. The correct answer is B. Stream cipher. Explanation. Stream ciphers are designed to encrypt data one bit at a time, making them faster and more suitable for high-speed, real-time data transmission than block ciphers. Asymmetric ciphers are too slow for bulk data encryption, and hash functions do not provide confidentiality. 62. A security team is deploying a new symmetric cryptographic system. They are concerned that if a single key is used for all communications between two parties, an attacker could eventually deduce the key through a series of intercepted messages. What is the most effective way to mitigate this risk? A. Implement a public key infrastructure, PKI. B. Use a one-time pad for all communications. C. Use a session key for each communication session. D. Use an asymmetric algorithm to encrypt all data. The correct answer is C. Use a session key for each communication session. Explanation. A session key is a single-use symmetric key that is used for a single communication session and is then destroyed. This provides more protection than a static symmetric key, as an attacker would need to compromise a new key for each session. A one-time pad is theoretically unbreakable but impractical to implement. 63. A security researcher is attempting to discover an encryption key by monitoring the electrical power consumption of a hardware security module as it performs cryptographic operations. What type of attack is being performed? A. Brute force attack. B. Known plaintext attack. C. Side-channel attack. D. Chosen ciphertext attack. The correct answer is C. Side-channel attack. Explanation. A side-channel attack is a non-invasive cryptanalytic attack that involves gathering information about a cryptosystem's operation by observing its physical characteristics, such as power consumption, timing, or electromagnetic radiation. By analyzing these external measurements, an attacker can deduce information about the cryptographic key without directly interacting with the algorithm. A brute force attack involves trying all possible keys, while chosen plaintext and chosen ciphertext attacks involve interacting with the algorithm in a specific way. 64. An attacker intercepts an encrypted message from a known user. They then trick the user into encrypting a message of the attacker's choosing and sending it. The attacker then compares the new plaintext and ciphertext pair to gain information about the key. What type of attack is this? A. Chosen plaintext attack. B. Known plaintext attack. C. Brute force attack. D. Fault injection attack. The correct answer is A. Chosen plaintext attack. Explanation. In a chosen plaintext attack, the attacker can select the plaintext messages they want to have encrypted. They then analyze the resulting ciphertext to gain information to help them deduce the key. This is a more powerful form of attack than a known plaintext attack, where the attacker only has access to existing plaintext and ciphertext pairs without the ability to choose new ones. Brute force and fault injection attacks are different methods of compromising a cryptosystem. 65. An attacker has intercepted several encrypted messages between a sender and a receiver. The attacker notices that certain frequently used words and phrases result in predictable patterns in the ciphertext, allowing them to deduce parts of the key. What type of cryptanalytic attack is being employed? A. Brute force attack. B. Known plaintext attack. C. Frequency analysis. D. Side-channel attack. The correct answer is C. Frequency analysis. Explanation. A frequency analysis attack exploits patterns in language, such as the most commonly used letters or words, to deduce parts of a message and, in turn, aid in the recovery of the encryption key. This is often carried out on simpler substitution ciphers that do not provide sufficient confusion and diffusion to hide these patterns. Brute force, known plaintext, and side-channel attacks are different methods of cryptanalysis that do not rely on linguistic patterns. 66. An attacker positions themselves between two communicating parties, intercepts their traffic, and establishes two separate encrypted connections, one with each party. The attacker then decrypts, reads, and re-encrypts the messages before forwarding them. What type of attack is being performed? A. Brute force attack. B. Chosen plaintext attack. C. Man-in-the-middle, MITM, attack. D. Side-channel attack. The correct answer is C. Man-in-the-middle, MITM, attack. Explanation. A man-in-the-middle, MITM, attack occurs when an attacker intercepts and potentially alters communication between two parties who believe they are communicating directly with each other. This attack is often successful when there is no mechanism to verify the identity of the other party, such as a digital certificate. The other options are different forms of cryptanalytic attacks that do not involve active interception and relay of messages. 67. An attacker has intercepted an encrypted message. The attacker knows the original plaintext and the corresponding ciphertext. They use this knowledge to analyze the algorithm and deduce the key. What is this type of cryptanalytic attack called? A. Chosen plaintext attack. B. Known plaintext attack. C. Brute force attack. D. Side-channel attack. The correct answer is B. Known plaintext attack. Explanation. In a known plaintext attack, the attacker has access to both the plaintext and the corresponding ciphertext of one or more messages. This information is then used to analyze the encryption process and deduce the key, or at least gain information that can aid in a future attack. A chosen plaintext attack is a more powerful variant, where the attacker can choose the plaintext to be encrypted. 68. An organization wants to use a cryptographic hash function to ensure the integrity of its files. What is the most important characteristic a strong hashing algorithm should have to prevent an attacker from creating a new file with the same hash value? A. It must be an asymmetric algorithm. B. It must be collision-free. C. It must be a one-way function. D. It must use a secret key. The correct answer is B. It must be collision-free. Explanation. A collision-free hash function ensures that two different inputs will not produce the same output, hash value. If an attacker can find two inputs with the same hash, they can substitute a malicious file for a legitimate one without detection. The other characteristics are also important, but collision freedom is the most critical for preventing this specific type of attack. 69. An attacker is performing a cryptanalytic attack by repeatedly encrypting a specific message of their choosing. The attacker then compares the resulting ciphertexts to look for patterns that can help them deduce the encryption key. What is this type of attack called? A. Chosen ciphertext attack. B. Known plaintext attack. C. Chosen plaintext attack. D. Replay attack. The correct answer is C. Chosen plaintext attack. Explanation. A chosen plaintext attack is a cryptanalytic attack where the attacker can select the plaintext message they want to be encrypted and then analyze the resulting ciphertext to gain information about the key. This provides more information than a known plaintext attack, where the attacker only has access to existing plaintext/ciphertext pairs without the ability to choose new ones. 70. A facilities manager is designing the security for a new office building. They decide to use a combination of fences, lights, and landscaping to guide employees and visitors to a single main entrance. Which security principle is being applied? A. Natural surveillance. B. Natural territorial reinforcement. C. Natural access control. D. Target hardening. The correct answer is C. Natural access control. Explanation. Crime prevention through environmental design, CPTED, uses a variety of physical environment manipulations to reduce crime. Natural access control is one of the three core CPTED strategies, which involves using physical elements like fences, landscaping, and lighting to naturally guide or deter people, thereby limiting and controlling access points. Natural surveillance and territorial reinforcement are other CPTED principles, and target hardening refers to more granular, specific controls like locks and reinforced walls. 71. When a security team designs the physical environment to create a sense of ownership among authorized users, using clear boundaries and well-defined spaces, which CPTED, crime prevention through environmental design, principle are they implementing? A. Natural surveillance. B. Natural access control. C. Target hardening. D. Natural territorial reinforcement. The correct answer is D. Natural territorial reinforcement. Explanation. Natural territorial reinforcement is a CPTED strategy that uses physical designs to create a sense of ownership or territory for legitimate users. This is done through the use of clear boundaries, landscaping, and other design elements that give people a sense of pride in their environment and a greater tendency to protect it from intruders. 72. A security professional is performing a risk assessment of a new office building. She observes that the landscaping includes tall, thick shrubs and dense trees near the building's windows, which obstruct the view of the building's exterior from the street. What physical security principle is being violated? A. Natural access control. B. Target hardening. C. Natural surveillance. D. Segregation of duties. The correct answer is C. Natural surveillance. Explanation. Natural surveillance is a CPTED, crime prevention through environmental design, principle that involves designing the environment to make it more observable. This is done by placing physical features, like lighting and landscaping, in a way that increases the visibility of the building and reduces hiding spots for potential criminals. The obstructed view violates this principle. 73. A new corporate headquarters is being designed. To deter unauthorized access, the architect decides to use a combination of fences, gates, and strategically placed landscaping to guide all visitors to a single, monitored reception area. What is the security principle called? A. Natural surveillance. B. Natural access control. C. Natural territorial reinforcement. D. Target hardening. The correct answer is B. Natural access control. Explanation. Natural access control is a crime prevention through environmental design, CPTD, strategy that uses physical elements like fences, landscaping, and lighting to control and direct the flow of people and vehicles. This is different from natural surveillance, which aims to increase visibility, or natural territorial reinforcement, which creates a sense of ownership. 74. A security team is designing the physical security for a new office building. They decide to use a combination of walls, fences, and decorative landscaping to create a clear boundary between the company property and the public space. Which CPTD, crime prevention through environmental design, principle are they implementing? A. Natural surveillance. B. Natural access control. C. Natural territorial reinforcement. D. Target hardening. The correct answer is C. Natural territorial reinforcement. Explanation. Natural territorial reinforcement is a CPTD strategy that uses physical designs to create a sense of ownership or territory for legitimate users. This is done through the use of clear boundaries, landscaping, and other design elements that give people a sense of pride in their environment and a greater tendency to protect it from intruders. Natural access control and natural surveillance are other CPTD principles. 75. The security for a media storage facility containing highly sensitive data is being reviewed. The walls are not insulated to the true ceiling. An individual can lift a ceiling tile in an adjacent office, climb over the partition, and drop down into the facility. What is the primary physical security vulnerability in this design? A. Inadequate access control. B. A single point of failure. C. Improper cabling in the plenum space. D. A lack of a complete physical perimeter. The correct answer is D. A lack of a complete physical perimeter. Explanation. A secure room or compartment must have a full, unbroken physical perimeter to be effective. The design of a dropped ceiling with walls that do not extend to the true ceiling creates a major vulnerability, as it allows for an intruder to bypass the controlled entry points. This is a critical design flaw that compromises the integrity of the physical perimeter. 76. The power system for a high-availability data center must protect against both short-term outages and prolonged blackouts. Which combination of controls would best satisfy this requirement? A. A shielded network. B. A power line regulator and a surge protector. C. An uninterruptible power supply, UPS, and a backup generator. D. A dedicated power feed and a standby UPS. The correct answer is C. An uninterruptible power supply, UPS, and a backup generator. Explanation. An uninterruptible power supply, UPS, provides short-term, instant power during minor power fluctuations or brief outages, giving systems time to shut down gracefully. A backup generator is designed to provide power for prolonged outages. The combination of both a UPS and a generator provides comprehensive protection for both short-term and long-term power disruptions. The other options address a different range of power issues or provide only partial protection. 77. A data center is installing a fire suppression system. Due to the high value of the sensitive electronic equipment, the system must not leave behind any residue and must not cause a risk of electrocution. Which of the following suppression agents would be the most suitable choice? A. Carbon dioxide, CO2. B. Water. C. Clean agent. D. Dry powder. The correct answer is C. Clean agent. Explanation. Clean agents, such as FM200, are specifically designed to suppress fires without damaging sensitive electronic equipment and are safe for humans. They do not leave a residue, unlike dry powders. Water is damaging to electronics, and carbon dioxide, while effective, is a lethal suffocation hazard in an enclosed space. 78. The continuity plan for a hospital's data center requires power to be available for a prolonged period in the event of a major grid-wide power failure. Which backup power solution is best suited to address this specific requirement? A. A power line regulator. B. A standby uninterruptible power supply, UPS. C. An online UPS. D. A backup generator. The correct answer is D. A backup generator. Explanation. A backup generator is the only option that is designed to provide power for prolonged, multi-hour, or multi-day outages. A UPS, either standby or online, is only meant to provide short-term power for a few minutes to allow for a graceful shutdown or for the transfer of load to a generator. A power line regulator addresses voltage fluctuations but not a complete power loss. 79. A security audit of a secure media storage facility reveals a critical design flaw. The internal walls do not extend to the true ceiling, but instead end at the dropped ceiling. What primary physical security vulnerability does this design create? A. A single point of failure. B. Lack of a complete physical perimeter. C. Inadequate access control. D. Improper cable management. The correct answer is B. Lack of a complete physical perimeter. Explanation. A physical perimeter, such as a secure room, must be completely sealed on all sides, including the floor and ceiling, to be effective. If the walls do not extend to the true ceiling, it creates a significant vulnerability that allows an intruder to bypass controlled entry points by climbing over the partitions from an adjacent area. The other options describe different types of flaws. 80. A company is considering using a backup generator for its data center. What is the primary purpose of a generator in a data center power system? A. To provide an instant, seamless transition to backup power. B. To regulate voltage during minor power fluctuations. C. To provide power for prolonged, multi-hour outages. D. To act as a secondary power feed during normal operations. The correct answer is C. To provide power for prolonged, multi-hour outages. Explanation. A backup generator is designed to provide power for prolonged outages that last for hours or even days. It is not meant to provide instant power, as there is a brief delay before it can take over the load. A UPS is used for short-term, instant power, and a power line regulator addresses voltage fluctuations. 81. A security auditor is reviewing a secure data center. The auditor notices that the servers and their corresponding network closets are not in the core of the building, but instead are located on the ground floor with a large, accessible window facing a public street. What primary physical security vulnerability is this? A. Inadequate fire suppression. B. A single point of failure. C. Improper site selection and design. D. A lack of environmental controls. The correct answer is C. Improper site selection and design. Explanation. The location of a data center is a critical physical security consideration. Data centers should be located in the core of a building, away from external walls, to protect them from external threats such as unauthorized entry or vehicular attacks. The window facing a public street is a major design flaw that introduces an unacceptable level of risk to the sensitive equipment. 82. A business is implementing a power system for a critical server room. The system must protect against both brief power fluctuations and short-term outages, providing a seamless transition to a backup source. Which power solution best meets this requirement? A. A power line regulator. B. A backup generator. C. An online uninterruptible power supply, UPS. D. A standby UPS. The correct answer is C. An online uninterruptible power supply, UPS. Explanation. An online UPS is designed to provide continuous, clean power by always running the load on its batteries, which are constantly being charged. This provides a seamless, instant transition to battery power in the event of an outage, making it the best choice for protecting against both power fluctuations and brief outages. A standby UPS has a slight delay, and a generator is for prolonged outages. 83. A security audit of a secure data center finds that the server racks are placed too close together, impeding air circulation and causing the HVAC system to work inefficiently. What type of physical security vulnerability is this? A. A lack of environmental controls. B. Inadequate access control. C. An improper site design. D. A lack of power redundancy. The correct answer is A. A lack of environmental controls. Explanation. Proper environmental controls, including temperature and humidity, are critical for a data center. The inefficient HVAC system caused by poor server rack placement is a direct failure of environmental controls, which can lead to equipment failure due to overheating. The other options describe different types of vulnerabilities. 84. A company is considering using a backup generator for its data center. What is the primary purpose of a generator in a data center's power system? A. To provide a seamless, instant transition to backup power. B. To regulate voltage during minor power fluctuations. C. To provide power for prolonged outages. D. To act as a secondary power feed during normal operations. The correct answer is C. To provide power for prolonged outages. Explanation. A backup generator is designed to provide power for long-term, multi-hour, or multi-day outages. It is not meant to provide instant power, as there is a brief delay before it can take over the load. A UPS is used for short-term, instant power, and a power line regulator addresses voltage fluctuations. 85. A financial institution is building a new data center. Due to the high value of the sensitive electronic equipment, the project manager wants a fire suppression system that will not damage the equipment and is safe for humans. Which fire suppression agent is best suited to meet these requirements? A. Carbon dioxide, CO2. B. Water. C. Clean agent. D. Dry chemical. The correct answer is C. Clean agent. Explanation. Clean agents, such as FM200, are fire suppression agents that are safe for both humans and sensitive electronic equipment. They suppress fires without leaving a residue that can be damaging to servers and other hardware. Water is highly damaging to electronics, and CO2 is a suffocation hazard in enclosed spaces. 86. A company is designing a new data center. To provide the highest level of security, the security architect decides to use a fire suppression system that will not damage sensitive electronic equipment. Which of the following is the most suitable suppression agent? A. Water. B. Carbon dioxide, CO2. C. Dry powder. D. Clean agent. The correct answer is D. Clean agent. Explanation. Clean agents, such as FM200, are fire suppression agents that are safe for both humans and sensitive electronic equipment. They suppress fires without leaving a residue, which can be damaging to servers and other hardware. Water is highly damaging to electronics, CO2 is effective but is a suffocation hazard, and dry powders can also be damaging to equipment. 87. During the information system lifecycle, a new system is being moved from a test environment to a production environment. What is the next logical phase in the lifecycle after this deployment is complete? A. Requirements analysis. B. Architectural design. C. Verification and validation. D. Operations and maintenance. The correct answer is D. Operations and maintenance. Explanation. The information system lifecycle is a formal process from cradle to grave. After a system has been developed, integrated, verified, and transitioned into a production environment, deployment, the next logical step is the ongoing operations and maintenance phase. This includes activities like patching, monitoring, and regular upkeep to ensure the system remains stable and secure. 88. An organization is retiring a legacy system. As part of the process, a security manager is tasked with securely destroying the hard drives that contain sensitive data. In which phase of the information system lifecycle, ISLC, does this activity belong? A. Development and implementation. B. Operations and maintenance. C. Retirement and disposal. D. Verification and validation. The correct answer is C. Retirement and disposal. Explanation. The retirement and disposal phase is the final stage of the ISLC. It includes activities such as data wiping, data destruction, and hardware disposal to ensure that no sensitive information remains after the system is taken out of service. All the other phases occur before the system is decommissioned. 89. During the information system lifecycle, a new system is being moved from a test environment to a production environment. In which phase of the lifecycle does this activity belong? A. Requirements analysis. B. Architectural design. C. Transition and deployment. D. Operations and maintenance. The correct answer is C. Transition and deployment. Explanation. The information system lifecycle is a formal process from cradle to grave. After a system has been developed and validated, it is transitioned or deployed into the production environment. This is the stage that occurs before the ongoing operations and maintenance phase. 90. A legacy application is being retired from service. As part of the decommissioning process, the data on the underlying servers must be securely erased. In which phase of the information system lifecycle does this activity belong? A. Development and implementation. B. Operations and maintenance. C. Retirement and disposal. D. Verification and validation. The correct answer is C. Retirement and disposal. Explanation. The retirement and disposal phase is the final stage of the information system lifecycle. It involves activities such as system decommissioning, data migration, and the secure erasure or destruction of data and hardware. This step is critical to prevent the unauthorized disclosure of sensitive information after the system is no longer in use. 91. A new information system is being developed from scratch. Which of the following is the first logical phase in the information system lifecycle, ISLC? A. Requirements analysis. B. Architectural design. C. Development and implementation. D. Operations and maintenance. The correct answer is A. Requirements analysis. Explanation. The first phase of the information system lifecycle, ISLC, is the analysis phase, where the system's goals and requirements are defined. This is followed by architectural design, development, integration, and eventually, operations and maintenance. 92. A project manager is explaining the final steps before a new system can be deployed into the production environment. He states that the technical review is complete, and the next step is to obtain a formal sign-off from senior management. What is this final step called? A. Certification. B. Validation. C. Accreditation. D. Verification. The correct answer is C. Accreditation. Explanation. Accreditation is the formal approval by a senior manager or designated authority that a system is approved to operate in its environment, based on a risk assessment of the security controls and the findings of the certification review. Certification is the comprehensive technical evaluation of the system, which precedes accreditation. 93. During the information system lifecycle, a manager is asked to provide a formal sign-off that a new system is approved to operate in its production environment. This decision is made after a comprehensive technical evaluation of the system has been completed. What is this approval process called? A. Verification. B. Accreditation. C. Validation. D. Certification. The correct answer is B. Accreditation. Explanation. Accreditation is the formal approval by a senior manager or designated authority that a system is approved to operate in its environment. This approval is based on a risk assessment and the findings of the certification review. Certification is the technical evaluation that precedes accreditation. 94. During the information system lifecycle, a team is defining the goals and required functionality for a new system based on stakeholder needs and requirements. What is this initial phase called? A. Architectural design. B. Development and implementation. C. Requirements analysis. D. Verification and validation. The correct answer is C. Requirements analysis. Explanation. The first phase of the information system lifecycle is the analysis phase, where the system's goals and requirements are defined. Stakeholders' needs, such as functionality, performance, and security, are identified and documented to guide the rest of the development process. 95. A new information system has been certified as ready for operation after a full technical review. A senior manager is now required to formally approve the system to be deployed into the production environment, accepting the associated risks. What is this final step called? A. Certification. B. Verification. C. Accreditation. D. Validation. The correct answer is C. Accreditation. Explanation. Accreditation is the formal approval by a senior manager that a system is authorized to operate in its environment. It is a business decision based on the findings of the technical certification review. Certification is the technical evaluation of the system, and verification and validation are processes that occur earlier in the lifecycle. 96. A team is retiring a legacy application. As part of the process, a security manager is tasked with securely destroying the hard drives containing sensitive data. In which phase of the information system lifecycle, ISLC, does this activity belong? A. Development and implementation. B. Operations and maintenance. C. Retirement and disposal. D. Verification and validation. The correct answer is C. Retirement and disposal. Explanation. The retirement and disposal phase is the final stage of the ISLC. It includes activities such as data wiping, data destruction, and hardware disposal to ensure that no sensitive information remains after the system is taken out of service. 97. A system has undergone a full technical evaluation to confirm that its security controls are implemented correctly and meet all the specified requirements. What is this phase of the system lifecycle called? A. Validation. B. Accreditation. C. Certification. D. Requirements analysis. The correct answer is C. Certification. Explanation. Certification is the comprehensive technical review of a system to confirm that its security controls are implemented correctly and that it meets all the stated security requirements. This phase precedes accreditation, which is the formal management approval to operate the system based on the findings of the certification process. 98. A project team is developing a new system. As part of the process, they are formally documenting the system's components, their interactions, and the overall structure, based on the requirements. What is this phase called? A. Architectural design. B. Development and implementation. C. Operations and maintenance. D. Retirement and disposal. The correct answer is A. Architectural design. Explanation. The architectural design phase of the information system lifecycle is where the major components of the system are defined, along with their relationships and interactions. It takes the high-level goals from the requirements analysis phase and translates them into a formal plan for the system's structure. 99. A new system has been developed and is being deployed into the production environment. Which of the following is the next logical phase in the system's lifecycle? A. Architectural design. B. Verification and validation. C. Operations and maintenance. D. Requirements analysis. The correct answer is C. Operations and maintenance. Explanation. The information system lifecycle moves from requirements and design through development and deployment. Once a system is transitioned and deployed into its production environment, the next and longest phase is operations and maintenance, which includes ongoing activities like patching, monitoring, and regular upkeep. 100. During the development of a new application, a security professional works to ensure that all security-critical functions are included in the initial design rather than added as an afterthought. This is an example of what principle and what phase in the information system lifecycle. A. Defense in depth in the architectural design phase. B. Secure by design in the architectural design phase. C. Least privilege in the development and implementation phase. D. Segregation of duties in the development and implementation phase. The correct answer is B. Secure by design in the architectural design phase. Explanation. The principle of secure by design advocates for integrating security into the system's foundational architecture from the very beginning. This proactive approach is a core part of the architectural design phase of the information system lifecycle, where the system's structure and components are formally defined. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. Please like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get updated on our latest tutorials, quizzes, and multiple choice questions, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below.